So, Greg, welcome back to our podcast.
Yes, nice to see you again.
Yeah. So we saw each other in person recently. We were at the annual meeting for the AAPPM in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we had a chance to spend some time together. You gave a couple of talks there.
I did. I would have to say the weather was beautiful. The company was great, and got to learn quite a few things too while we were there from all sorts of different people that were in attendance. So it was a great time. Yeah, the first conversation or talk that I did was in regards to succession planning and why every podiatrist office should have a succession plan in place, and how to properly document that, and how to fund it as well. And that was the first one. And then the second talk that I did was about why a podiatrist practice should not be their only retirement plan, and how to diversify away from having your business as your only means of revenue for retirement, because those things should essentially be separate. One's practice does definitely factor into their retirement plan, hopefully, but we definitely need to diversify from our businesses as business owners.
I think
How about you?
I think a lot of doctors think their practice is worth a lot more than it really is, and they get surprised when they go to sell the practice, how the discrepancy between what they think it's worth and what it actually is worth. But I spoke about marketing, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. I talked about using video in marketing with using YouTube, which is something I do for my own practice. And I had a great time. My favorite talk that I gave, though, was to the medical assistants. I gave a talk about sterilization and disinfecting the podiatric office. So as I'm sure you can imagine, it was riveting. It was riveting. There was not a dry eye in the place. They couldn't wait to get out of there. But we had an opportunity when we were there to interview a few people who were presenting, and we're gonna share those interviews with everyone. So the first one that we're going to share is from Rem Jackson. Rem Jackson is the CEO and founder of Top Practices. It's a company that I've worked with for years and has been transforming healthcare practices since 2007. Rem brings over 25 years of experience guiding professionals and business leaders as a coach and trainer. Through Top Practices' premier coaching program, the Top Practices Mastermind Group, he's enabled hundreds of doctors to market and grow their practices to achieve the productivity and the profitability they've always wanted. What sets Top Practices apart is their hands-on approach. They work shoulder to shoulder with their members to empower them to achieve their goals, while their Virtual Practice Management Institute coaches practice staff to handle increased volume that excellent marketing produces. His contributions to the field of podiatry have been widely recognized. He's a fellow of the American Academy of Podiatric Practice Management, and he received the AAPPM President's Award in 2012 for his significant contributions to podiatry. In 2019, he was inducted into the Podiatry Management Hall of Fame, a testament to his lasting impact to the industry. And I had the honor of inducting him into that. He's also the author of Podiatry Prosperity, How to Market, Manage, and Love Your Practice, and hosts his own podcast, Prosperity and Something Greater. Please enjoy this interview with someone who truly understands what it takes to build thriving practices and empower healthcare professionals, Rem Jackson. Rem Jackson, welcome to the Entrepreneurial Podiatrist podcast.
Good to be here, Andrew.
Great. So a big focus of your company, Top Practices, is marketing podiatric practices. What does a practitioner need to consider when marketing their practice?
Well, I think one of the first things you want to be very clear about is what kind of patients you want to have in your treatment rooms every day. And so we always start with the focus of the top 5 to 7 diagnoses that the practice wants to see. And then all of our marketing is geared towards promoting those particular diagnoses as opposed to just a general podiatric practice. Even if you see your practice as a general podiatric practice, you still want to see the things that A, you love to do the most, and B, that bring you the most financial reward. And we start there.
So Rem, you've got tons of experience, years of experience in marketing. If you just had to focus on one thing to get started for a podiatrist to start with marketing, what would that one thing be?
I don't know that I really want to just pick one thing, because one of the things I will do it for you, but the focus since 2008, we started the company in 2007, but in 2008, we created the 4 pillars of marketing. And so you market online, you market to referral sources around you, you market to your patient base, everyone that knows you on your list. And finally, you can use external kind of advertising sponsorships. So, and one of the key things I always try to tell my doctors is, don't just pick one. It's much better when you're fishing, for instance, the more poles you have in the water, the better your haul is going to be at the end of the day. So that's a foundational sort of fundamental thing that we do. But since you asked the question, I would say that the real silver bullet in marketing is to take care of that list of people who know you, like you, and trust you. That's your active patients, inactive patients, really inactive patients, and anyone else that's ever requested information from you, that you have their name and email, because nurturing that list is what truly builds a good, strong foundation and brings in the kinds of referrals and reactivations that you want to see on a regular basis.
And how would you go about nurturing that list?
Well, there's really 2 primary things you can do. And the first one is for you and your staff to obsess every day about providing legendary customer service. And that's our standard at top practices. Not satisfactory customer service, not great or good, legendary. I always tell my offices that the primary reason that you want to provide legendary customer service is because it makes your days better. It makes it nicer, but it really reinforces your relationship with your existing list, your existing patient base. And I always say the 3 most important words in marketing are nurture, nurture, nurture. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is to begin to communicate to that list on a regular basis. And I always recommend that you send an email every single week to your patient base. Now, I get a lot of pushback on that because people will very fairly say to me, who wants to hear from their podiatrist every week? But if what you're sending is useful, educational, even inspirational from time to time, then you begin to be welcomed into their emails. And they don't, of course, watch everything or read everything, but they read some of it. And so you maintain the continuity of your relationship. So when someone says, do you know a good foot doctor? They can say, oh, sure, you need to go see Dr. Schneider. Instead of, yeah, I can't remember his name. There's a good guy. He's over there. I'll get it for you. And then it never happens. And so, Andrew, that's really the 2 main things: superb service and regular, solid communications.
So what, if any, mistakes have you seen podiatrists making in their current marketing plans?
Well, how much time do you have, Greg?
We're here for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes. But I'll tell you some of the top ones are they think they should do this. They think, oh, I'm going to make some videos that'll really help support my practice, see more heel pain. So I need to learn how to use the camera and put it all together and schedule it and edit. Literally, people have said to me, well, I need to learn how to edit video. And I think, no, you don't. That you need to find someone that can do that for you. So the first thing is, don't do all of this yourself. The second biggest mistake I see, marketing is something that needs to be consistent, regular, and never ending. And it can be month after month, year after year, somewhat mundane, and it can be over time a little tedious. And so you lose interest, and then you stop doing the things you should be doing. And then what happens inevitably is they say, I stopped doing this, then my numbers went down, so I got geared back up and did it again. But just stay with it. Don't get bored. Don't lose interest, and just stay focused on what you need to do. So those are probably two of the biggest mistakes. I guess the last one I'll bring up out of the list of 1,000 is to look at marketing as an expense, because marketing should never cost you a dime. It should always make you money. And if you spend $1 and you can get back $2, $3, or $5, what that should make you want to do is spend as many dollars as you can, as long as that return on the investment is that good. And so the trick there is to collaborate with other podiatrists like Dr. Schneider that know what they're doing. Find out what's working for them. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and then do the things that are working. And I've been at this now for 20 years, and I'll tell you, what worked in 2007 is not what we're doing in 2025. And in fact, what we're doing in 2025 is not going to be what we're doing in 2026. The technology tools, AI, all of this are rapidly accelerating in what they can offer our doctors. We'll get so much more done in collapsed timeframes with higher results. So staying really current, and don't get siloed by yourself. You need to be engaged with other people. That's really the whole foundational concept behind our company, Top Practices, which is the mastermind, which means that I've got ideas and creativity and energy. Andrew has it. You have it, Greg. But the three of us together are more than three. It becomes exponentially increased. And our network's all over the United States, Canada, and Australia. And so you get the best of the best ideas, and you can hear pretty early what was tried and didn't work. So I would say that's the top three.
You mentioned AI. That's a big buzzword. Everyone's talking about AI. What role do you see it playing in marketing, and what pitfalls do you see with AI in marketing?
Well, one of the best things that AI can do in marketing is make the development of content, and by that I mean campaigns and multifaceted marketing approaches, so easy. The creation of that content used to be a lot of work. You had to have somebody that can write. You had somebody that can edit and pull this all together. And AI collapses all of those timeframes. And if you use prompts that ask the AI to be an expert in, say, Donald Miller's story branding, it'll produce the content using those fundamental principles. Alex Hermosi, different things. You can come up with very sophisticated, multifaceted approaches, and really quickly. The pitfall is, if you don't check it and make sure it's all accurate, you can send out some really weird stuff. So use it, but don't trust it. I'd have to say that's probably one of the biggest things that I see happening in terms of marketing.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you recommend your 3 favorite books that a podiatrist would use to learn about their marketing? Or
You're really, Andrew? Okay. Well, my book. So have you read it?
At least once.
A Podiatry Prosperity by Rem Jackson. And the second one I've already referenced, that would be Building a Story Brand 2.0 by Donald Miller. And frankly, about anything by Alex Hormozi on his marketing programs. They aren't focused on medical and neither story branding. And you have to really take it with a grain of salt, but there's some wonderful fundamental structures that Hormozi has that are pretty sophisticated. So I'd say that's a start.
Just so you know, so I can be a part of the club as well, I did read your book as well, Rem.
Oh, hey. Gosh, that's 2 of people now. That's great.
So I got one last question for you, Rem.
Okay.
If you could be a toy, any toy at all, what toy would you be?
Oh, Andrew, that's great. Well, I've answered this before, thought about it a lot, and it's a teddy bear because I don't know. That's how everybody that I work with seems to see me, warm and fuzzy and really make you feel good and keep you going. So I'm a teddy bear.
And let's share the inside joke. Rem has a podcast, and that was his story. That was his question that he asked of all his guests. So I thought I would turn it around.
That's awesome.
It was a
Good work.
Really great question.
Rem, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks a lot. I'm glad we're doing this.
Thanks, Rem. It's been a pleasure.
Greg, I've heard it so many times, but when you boil down our marketing to the 4 pillars, the external, internal, shoe leather, and online marketing, it really makes a difference on knowing where to focus your marketing. And I think it's true not just for podiatry, but really any business that's working on your marketing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Andrew. And if you haven't read Rem's book, I would also recommend reading his book. I read it, and there's a lot of great takeaways. It's a phenomenal quick read, and a lot of things in there for our marketing and a practice management standpoint.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us for this episode. We're going to have a few more interviews in upcoming episodes. And in the meantime, please like this episode and also subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes, and share on social media. And also, if you haven't been to an AAPPM meeting, we hold our annual meeting every November in Fort Lauderdale. It's at the beautiful Lagomar Resort, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of great people to be with, and a lot of great ideas shared. And so that's, again, November in 2026. We'll be back at Fort Lauderdale. Keep your eye open for it.
Thank you for listening to the Entrepreneurial Podiatrist podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at aappm.org or aappm401k.com. You'll find all our social media links in the episode summary. We'd love to connect.